Hello and welcome to the Clever channel. I am Jason, your host. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about benefits. Let's talk about the situation at the moment. I haven't really talked about it until it was all done. So here goes. What did I end up with when my mum passed away? This house, which I am eternally grateful for. This is my safe place. It is a place for me to live, to be happy. It is a home. It is the family home. It was put down in the will, and this is what happened. What else did I gain? Really nothing. Why is that? Well, you know all the stuff that happened with the person who we don't really name anymore, but when he trashed the house and everything, what money my mum did have saved, with the okay of the bank, with the okay of the social services, and with the okay of the people involved, we fixed the damage and everything, the primary damage to the house that had been done to it. I knew that would eat up nearly all of the inheritance. So, apart from that, there was an amount of money that came in from an annuity that my mum had, and first of all, 1/3 of that went straight back out the same day to pay solicitors' fees, even having the house put in my name costs. You pay an amount because they have to sign it with the registry, the land registry, and everything. They have to do searches and all that kind of thing. So even doing that costs. And then there was the different parts of the will that had to be sorted and that. So those bills were paid out. And so what happened to the rest of the money, the 2/3? Well, you see, I'm on benefits. I have HIP, and I have the severe disability premium, and I have my normal other one as well, which I am able to live on, and that. It's not a comfortable life. I mean, people make the mistake of seeing this stuff in my room, like the arcade machine and all this, and they don't realise that all this is paid for part of my disabilities because I am technology affinity. When it comes down to it, for some people, their PIP, their disability payments, are supposed to pay for stuff like wheelchairs, aids in the house. These things that you see around me are aids to me, and all came about over 20 years. So that was basically me looking after Paola and so on. And so what happened to the other 2/3 of the money? Well, I don't talk about this much, but before Paola died, a year before Paola died, we knew that she was going to die. They told us that she had about a year left, that Paola's cancer, we had tried everything, we had done everything. When they took the blood tests, I remember the day that they said it, we went into their office and they said, the counts are coming up and we've got to put you on a new medication. So they put her on the new medication, and then straight away her kidneys started to fail, and then even the damage increased massively. She was just not compatible with the new version of the drug, but without it she would have been dead in weeks. So with the drug she still had about a year. That was the estimation, and we're pretty much spot on. Unfortunately they can tell things like that. So that year before she died, I had been planning it for a while. I had got quite good credit rating, and this was before all the big issues with money and that, and the big problems in the UK. And so they were throwing credit cards at you. So I had, I think it was 5 credit cards, and the option to have loans. Now, I was under no aspersions that I would have a massive problem paying all this off. I knew I would pay it off, but I knew. So in that last year, I burnt through every credit card and every loan I could get. Why? Because Paola was dying. Paola had 1 more year of life, and I wanted to make sure that I could do anything she wanted. She managed to go to wildlife parks and learn how to shoot an air rifle and an air pistol and all things like this, and we were able to get finance the boat and that and things like that, so she could go on the canals, and painting supplies and so on and so forth. My mum helped a lot, but I also burned through stuff myself. Now, when she died, all those debts went into what is called maintenance mode. I still had them, and I paid off the interest and that, but because I was on benefits, I didn't have the money to pay off any more than that. And so that went on and on and on, and I was slowly dealing with them. And then the IVA came about, Independent Voluntary Agreement, an agreement between you and the government, sanctified by it's a government agreement, and companies do it. With a very good company, I had to do it. And basically they took all my debts and said, okay, they won't be able to bother you for these debts. We'll set up an agreement where you're paying a certain amount off, certain percentage off over 5-6 years, and then you'll be debt free at the end of it. This was a lifesaver for me. It was really well a lifesaver for me. And so I had this IVA. Now, part of the agreement of the IVA, the people that IVA doesn't work for is people who are dishonest. I'm sorry, they are. It's very hard to set up an IVA. You have to be 100% on it. You have to tell them about every single asset you have. You have to open your bank accounts to them and let them check your bank accounts going back months in the past to make sure that you're not hiding any money or anything like that. It is an agreement between you and the government. What you're getting out of it is, in 5 to 6 years, you will not only be debt free, but have a pretty much perfect credit rating, and you will have and you will be set to start living your life again in financial terms. But for them to give you that guarantee that they will protect you from your debtors, they can't come after you, that your creditors have to agree to a certain amount that they're going to be paid over the years. It won't be the full amount, but they might not have got any of it anyway. They may have had to sell their debt off to some people who will come after you for 10% of it and all that kind of thing. So on their side, they have a guaranteed amount of money that they will get from you that they wouldn't normally get. On yours, you no longer have anybody phoning you about these debts, about paying them off. You have no longer have anybody bothering you at all. They can't send letters. They can't legally. They will lose their financial. They can be hit with massive fines if they think. I mean, it's a legal situation you put. So you're protected, and they've got a protected amount. So it works really well. But you've got to be absolutely honest. You've got to be honest about the amount you can pay per month. You've got to be completely honest about any assets, because otherwise they can invalidate the IVA and you're screwed. So yeah, that's the reason that IVAs fail for some people, because they can't do that. Now me, I have no problem being honest, because I'm always completely 100% honest due to my brain. So even when I was using my mum's money to pay for stuff around the house, because it was going through my bank account to pay thingy, I always inform them. If you haven't ever been on benefits, there's another thing that happens, and this is they've got this thing where they're saying, oh, they'll be checking your bank account. These checks were already in place, or at least in partial in place. All the major banks, if you're on benefits and they see a massive amount of money going through your bank account, then they will inform the DWP. They will, because it doesn't look right. It says, where's this come from? This is thingy, or different kind of payments going in. So they will check up on things. They don't have as much manpower as they do now, but they did it automatically, and that's why it really doesn't affect me with this idea that they're now going to, Big Brother is watching you, going to check your bank account if you're on benefits. It was already happening for years and years. It's not nice, but it was already there. So two things happened. First of all, legally, the rest of the money, the 2/3 that were left, had to go on the IVA. I had no choice. It was a legal requirement. Otherwise, I would have been committing a type of fraud and causing issues for myself, massive issues. So I ended up with no money. It just went straight on there, which was the right thing to do. After all, I used that money. I used that money to give Paola a boost in her last year of her life. And to not pay off those, or at least try to pay off those things in the future, would have sullied that in my eyes. That was how I felt about it anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I felt about it. As people said afterwards, I should have put all the credit cards in Paola's name, and then there was a chance that when she passed away, that because she had no assets in her name, they would have all been blanked. But I wanted them in my name because I wanted to do this for Paola. So, so that's why there was no big payout or anything, which is okay. But the other thing that I had to deal with was, as soon as the money went into my account, if you are being completely honest, and you have to ring up the Department of Work and Pension that day and let them know that money's gone into your bank account, a massive amount of money, and then you have to show them the details, the statements, the things, where the money's gone to. Why has it gone straight in your bank account? Why has it gone straight out of your bank account? What? This looks suspicious. This looks like you're... From their point of view, it's almost like the money's come in, you've had this inheritance, this money's come into your bank account, and then all of a sudden it's all disappeared. And they can't track it. And so it raises red flags. So I had to let them know. I had to provide statements, I had to provide invoices from the solicitors, letters from the IVA, everything. I had to do that all within like 24 hours to make sure. This is why I was going through stress at the time, because I had to get it done straight away, and prove to them that the money went straight into my bank account. And then on that very first day, all the solicitors were paid out, so a third disappeared straight away. And the next day, the IVA took the rest. So the worst case scenario, and this is the worst case scenario, they still haven't come back with me to a judgment. They will dock me 1 or 2 days worth of money while that money was in my bank account. As crazy as it sounds, yeah, they can do that. But because of all the proof has been given that this money went in my bank account and went straight out of my bank account to pay solicitors and legal things like the IVA and everything, then I'm fine. I was fine. Anything else, if I had used that money to spend on computers and everything like that, then I would have been in a bad situation. Now, I could have said, and it was told to me, that I could have said that because I use technology for disabilities and that, I could have spent that money on a new set of computers and everything like that. We even estimated how much it would cost to build an AI computer and all that kind of thing. I could have done that because it's all part of my coping strategy. But after talking long time with the bank, with everybody, you find out that, yeah, this is the way it's got to be. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Another thing that I had to do straight away as soon as the money went in my bank, well, before the money went, I rang up my bank the week before and says, hey, there's going to be a large amount of money going into my bank account on this day. Don't panic. And it's going to go straight back out within like 24 hours. It's not money laundering or anything like that. It's not, I'm not doing anything on that, because I had to do the same when money was coming through my bank account to pay the workmen on the house and that for my mum and everything. I always made sure the bank knew that this was, so it didn't get flagged as being a payment that had to go to the DWP, and the money benefits had to be frozen while they looked into it and all that. I circumvented that by actually telling them all beforehand and then having the notes on the file. So that is what happened. The positive thing is I'm almost completely debt-free now. The only things I do still have are contract phones, which I'm slowly whittling myself away from, because I have this phone as my primary phone. I have backup phones like the one I'm using to thingy. I don't need any more contract phones, and I want to slowly get rid of those. So I've just got my one mobile contract phone, and that's it. So financially, I'm in a better position than I was. Because if this stuff pays off the IVA completely, I don't have to pay per month anymore on it as well. So there, that's going into details for you all of the financial situation for me, and why this stuff where they're saying that in the UK that they're going to be checking people on benefits bank accounts doesn't bother me, because they've been checking on my bank account for years. It's part and parcel of being on benefits, unfortunately, and you'll just have to get used to it. They just didn't have the manpower to do it a lot back then, and now they will have the manpower to look into it more and the powers to look into it more. So yeah. I hope you're all having a good day. Bye bye for now.